what's going on right now, I think the world is getting darker and darker. That's evil. And evil has many tools. Propaganda is one big tool, and mind control is another big tool. And if you are not self-aware, then you will fall victim to these things. I talked to invisible beings. I was told about the Bolsheviks when all of this stuff started, because I didn't know anything about Bolsheviks, but I kept hearing Bolsheviks in a very negative tone in my head while I was watching what was going on in the world. So I had to go through that, which, you know, if you haven't been through the Bolsheviks, you have been through the Nazis. We all have. So you just study these little pieces of history and you superimpose them on what's going on right now. I actually see history without time. Time is the tricky part.
Right.
If you can take time out of your perspective, you will see it as one cohesive story that keeps repeating like a broken record we call history.
Oh, and that's a great point. You know, OP, coming from the side of a novelist, right? You know, if you read a book all the way through, you're reading it in a linear left to right, time passing fashion. But if you take a book that you finished and you open it up at a later portion, you can then connect it to the earlier portion, you know. And that's the way I think a lot of people who are pro-freedom they look at history and they say, okay, I can see the strands. I can see the causation from this to that. I can see the ideological movements from this to that. And if we look at things today, it's rather remarkable to see how collectivism in all its strange, you mentioned Bolshevism, obviously for decades, intellectuals in the United States did not want to recognize the numbers of people who were being slaughtered by the classic communist ideologies, like Christian Zionism, like fascism, like corporatism, like all these different things that they impose on us. They're all various forms of statism.
Isn't this all based on, at the root, materialism?
Oh, yes, absolutely right.
And that's what I worry about. I don't worry about who's president. It's that deeper spiritual war beyond this.